why artifacts, and to an extended perspective, what are artifacts? So generally speaking, kind of the generic term to explain what artifacts are is externally generated data. So that can be files, as well as just data that's not necessarily specifically files, but anything that's generated outside of LimaCharlie. As you probably know, LimaCharlie agent events, as they come in, are very well structured JSON. But sometimes we need to be able to take external things and bring them into LimaCharlie land. And we want to try to make sense of it, as well as be able to operate on it, right? That's kind of the key. So the common use cases would be, for example, Windows event logs. So Windows event log files on Windows are files on disk where Windows does its logging, and LimaCharlie does not generate those logs itself, but sometimes there's things that we very specifically want out of them, and so we want the ability to go and get those and bring them into LimaCharlie. But as you can see here, so syslogs, but also PCAPS, so network traffic can be in there. Also some kind of more esoteric file formats. So prefetch files, PEs, full memory dumps, generic formats as well, JSON, CSV, all that stuff. As we bring them in to LimaCharlie land, what happens to them is a couple of different things. And we'll go through the specific kind of process, but at a high level, we're going to retain them. That's kind of the obvious one. So we will retain the original. And we'll do that for however long you request. So on per artifact, you're able to say how long you want to retain that given artifact. We will detect. So as you will see, we'll have the ability to take those artifacts. Let's say, for example, a Windows event log, and in the same way as you can write DNR rules, so detection and response rules in LimaCharlie, which is kind of the global engine in LimaCharlie to do all things that are rules. You'll be able to write a rule that operates over Windows event logs. So even though they're not generated intrinsically by LimaCharlie, they're external, you're still going to be able to write detection and response rules there. Finally, well, not finally, but we will also be able to explode things. So again, we'll get into use cases that are very specific to that, but it's kind of the concept of taking sometimes one of those artifacts and being able to explode it, meaning kind of generate other artifacts from it, and then re-ingest those and then parse those and kind of do the whole thing. And finally, so the search is that depending on the artifact type, what we're going to do is we're going to extract indicators of compromise. So in the same way that we do extraction of IOCs in LimaCharlie events, so from the agent, we'll do the same from artifacts, and that's going to allow you to be able to say in the LimaCharlie search, instead of looking specifically, let's say, for an IP inside of LimaCharlie agent telemetry, you're going to be able to say, actually, I want to look at it for artifacts that match this, and we'll be able to give you similar results.